Guys, don't forget to buy David White's book. It's £20 for a personalised signed copy and free delivery. All the details are down below. Okay, so what I'd like to do now is talk about sort of two games in particular. That certainly for me, I was at these games, and also growing up as a kid, there were two, even today, big games for Man City fans, and that was the 10-1 Huddersfield game. I know you scored a hat-trick that day. What was it like playing in that particular game?
It was just one of those games where everything seemed to go right. Early on, I think it was Duncan Shearer who had a chance, or a couple of chances, and maybe they were on top early on. Then Neil scored the goal, and from there it just went mad. But to be honest with you, I got to sort of 8-0, 8-1, and I'd been a bit part player, very much a bit part player. The first half, the lads on the left-hand side, Simo and Andy Hinchcliffe, were absolutely incredible. Everything was going down that side, and we went in at half-time, it was 4-0. I scored a tap-in from about a yard, and I'd hardly touched it. I hadn't played badly, it was just that everything was going down the other side, and Simo in particular was having an absolute worldie of a game. So we're 4-0 at half-time, and then we come out second half, and obviously Tony gets another 2, Paul gets another 2. There's times when we didn't know the score ourselves, and I think I might be wrong. I know Andy scored at 8 or 9. I think Andy May got a penalty for them, and then I've just got the Kipaks behind me singing "We want 10, we want 10, we want 10," and there's time to do it. Huddersfield, who were playing an offside trap that I think the manager Malcolm McDonald said he'd never asked them to do that. They were absolutely all over the place, and so we attacked down the right, was blocked, and the ball just came out to me, and it's probably one of them where another game you might have a touch and just make sure you got your next shot across right, but it just felt like you could just take a chance sometimes. It's as hard as I could, it went in. So a 9, Crowder at it again, we want 10, we want 10. I've got 2, I know I'm now on a hat-trick. I'm not sure I even know the other 2 are, actually scored hat-tricks at the time. And then, again, Paul Simpson, they come running out. I think they almost run past me, and I'm not even in their half. So as they run out, I run forward, and I'm literally the only, other than the goalkeeper, I'm the only person in their half of the field. Keeper comes out, and it just seemed easy, just knock it past him. But looking at it now, it still doesn't look easy. It's an open goal, but it's and put it in. It's just I think the way I look at that was it's at the end of the day, it was Huddersfield. It was a sort of second tier game. They were poor. They were really poor. But 10 goals is an achievement that I don't think anybody's done it since, as far as I know. And it's 30 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, and like you say, it's so unique, and City fans still shout for it sometimes today.
Yeah.
When we played the likes of last season with Watford, we're beating teams 6-0, and it's so difficult. And you said, sometimes you lose track of the score, and you don't know what's happening, and you don't know what's coming up. I mean, we had a team last season that were putting 5 past Liverpool, 6 past Watford. It just shows you how difficult, even with the attacking players that we've got today, how difficult it is to score 10.
I think the thing is these days you protect players a lot more. I think 2 things. I think firstly, you're playing in the Premier League, and it's a lot more tempting to shut up shop. So if you're 4-0 at half time, the manager's just going to say, listen, no more. So you've got one manager saying, the rest of these players, don't put too much energy into it, and you put in players who are still great players on, but lesser players on. And then the other team, who the manager's saying, shut up shop. Don't attack. We'll just go 2 banks of 5, and make it. So it becomes much more difficult. It was just that day, and as I say, to sit here now, 30 years on, and be the person who got 9 and 10 is incredibly special for me. Even though it was a nothing game and against a nothing team, it was. It is. I often think, why did that happen to me? I feel like it was bestowed on me in some way. Why was that? the opportunity to get those all important 9th and 10th, because 8-1 would have been great, but it wouldn't have been anything like. So,
I mean, as we're chatting about it now, I mean, obviously we've got Huddersfield coming up on Sunday,
so
another 10 for us on Sunday.
Yeah, and it's still being celebrated now, because I know I'm at the game, I know Paul Stewart's at the game, I don't know who else has been invited, but I believe some others, and you know, so it's great that it's still remembered, and right that it should be, because it was some achievement, and for you see 3 main forward players to all score a hat trick. It was an incredible day. It was fantastic, and it is something that I'm very much proud to be sort of a major part of.
Yeah. One of the other games, obviously that stands out certainly as fans, was the 89 game against United in September, the 5-1.
Yeah.
For us as fans, we've gone through hell winning, certainly against the old adversaries United, and that game for us certainly was special. What was it like as a player?
I think I look at it very differently, in all honesty, from the Huddersfield game, and probably from you guys, the way you guys do, because it was as much as the performance on the day was great. Obviously some brilliant goals. It was nice to be part of that, and I think we certainly celebrate the last goal. I think Andy's goal was possibly one of the best that we've ever seen at Maine Road, and to be part of that, and
one of the best crosses.
Well, people often say to me, people will say that's the best cross we've ever seen at Maine, which is fantastic. And the victory was sweet at the time, really, really sweet. But at the end of the day, for me, as a Man City player, playing in games against Man United, it was pretty embarrassing, if I'm being told, overall. So, I really find it a bit hypocritical, and from my point of view, and I really struggle to celebrate what was one game in amongst a load of absolute less than mediocrity against United, and was a month or so before we lost 6-0 at Derby County and we lost our manager. So it was very, very much a false start. And as much as we celebrated that performance, and we should have celebrated it until the next derby, and had those rights at the time, if you like, the bragging rights. But ultimately, it was the only game I ever won against Man United, and that's an embarrassment to me as a City fan and a City player. I grew up and watched City during a period where we had some great battles against United and won many of them. I remember that it was 4-0 in '76, the game Colin got his injury, and we were more than competitive against United for all the time that I used to watch those games, and it wasn't really, I think, until Kevin Keegan came to the club and suddenly we became competitive against them again, so it's particularly in terms of I wouldn't put the downer on that period of time during which I played on City as maybe other people might. I think there were some good times. But in terms of Manchester Derby, it was terrible. So I as much as I enjoyed that game, it was great to be part of a good performance, and it's great to be, make, if you like, assist a goal that was I do believe one of the best we ever scored by the club at Maine Road. I struggled to celebrate that game, if I'm being told.
I mean, we obviously, as fans, it gave us 5-6 months to, for the people we worked with, lived around. We had nothing, like you said, we had nothing really to cheer about.
But other than that game, ultimately we were getting relegated. And if it wasn't for Howard Kendall turning up later on that season, we would have got relegated. So that period against in the Derby games for sure.